What's going on, guys? Firing up a few games today here. I'm going to try 6 and took your tips. I really appreciate it from the first video. We've tiled the tables. I got 6 going today. So I have 50 no limit up here. This is a 20 PLO down here, 50 no limit full ring game, and a 3 across the bottom at 50 NL 6 max too. So here we obviously open queens, got a good flop, deuce, deuce, jack. I'm going to go ahead and start with a bet. Here on PLO, we just flop a pair of kings with some other stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start with a check. C-bet and take it up here, opening the ace-jack under the gun. We'll just call it table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as we move along. Here we've got jack-9, top pair, no backdoor clubs, small stack. I'm going to actually go ahead and pitch this. Here we're facing a limp on table 4. We got 7-8 suited. I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up. And here we get a deuce 5-7 rainbow against a really capable, I'd say one of the better players at these stakes. Important to stay balanced here. I'm going to go ahead and bet small, which I'll do with my full range, aces, kings, overpairs, sets, air, pretty much everything. Against good thinking regulars like this guy, very important to stay balanced. Turn that's going to be better for him. And yeah, I like his lead here a lot. He's going to have a lot more of these low connected cards defending the big blind for only one more big blind when I open. So I like his lead here a lot. Not a lot I can do with this hand, just pitch it. I think a big part of playing here is to kind of know where your money comes from too. This guy's pretty capable. He plays 10 games at a time like I do. I see him on here a lot. I'm not really trying to mess with him a ton. My money's going to come from other players. I also want to note here on this PLO table, I don't really know what I'm doing at PLO. I think I've played like at this point 10, 12 million hands of no limit. And I've played maybe like 30,000 hands of PLO. I really just am trying to figure it out, play some pretty low stakes games and just try and think through some stuff and get better. I like the game. It seems fun and I like trying to get better at it. So I always try and throw a few tables up of that too. Here we're facing a button limp and a complete. We're just going to check the queen 5. And here, I think with a fun player coming along here, I'm actually just going to call. It's a decent spot to squeeze, but I'm going to squeeze way more value heavy as I think he's just going to call with everything. I don't want to bloat the pot playing ace deuce out of position. Just happier to see a flop with ace deuce suited here against Reg, who's probably going to have to be pretty face up. And me, and I'm going to go ahead and bet. Here under the gun limp, we're going to go ahead and pop up the ace 8 suited. And I'm going to go ahead and lead out here and try and get one big street. We got diamonds that can call. We got all the 5s, 9s, pocket 10s, a lot of these hands that can probably call once. So I'm going to size up. That's a really good river, maybe the only river besides a deuce I would bet again. Here we get called 2 ways. We have the ace of spades here, so backdoor nut. I'm going to start with a very small bet. And we get 3 bet here as we try and punish the limper, and we're going to defend the PLO. I'm going to go ahead and bet small here. We're going to try and hope to get paid off by an 8, a 7, a 6, maybe pocket 10, something like that. And hopefully we do. Really good turn here with an ace. And go ahead and bet pretty large, try and get one more street of value. And I'm going to fold the ace 8 to the 3 bet. Here, what do we have? I always have to look at what I have in PLO. It's a really good spot here. I'm going to go ahead and check again. A fun player, go ahead and 4 bet. We're not going to have any bluffs here. He doesn't need to know that. We're just going to min click it back. And here we got a limp under the gun with the king queen suited. We're going to raise that up. He calls. What happens here? We're obviously calling. He's drawn real thin and drawn dead. And this is a big reason why I say, you don't have to be crazy and great in a lot of these games. On table 1, you can see here, we just win a nice like 40 big blind pot. I mean, just, for no reason, he just calls and spazzes into us. Here at table 5, we drop trips. No reason to do anything but call. We turn a boat. Really good turn. I just cashed out yesterday, so I was going to joke with you guys. I was expecting to not run well today, but usually you have that cash out curse. Here on table 3, we flop the nut flush draw. I'm going to go ahead and bet a little under half pot. And I'm thinking about checking back the turn here, but I'm going to go ahead and fire a very small bet, like 3rd pot. Button limp here on table 4. We have ace 10. I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up to 6x. I think we just have the best hand here a lot. Ace, I think you can call that size with a lot of aces. Now we can miss with 9, 10, jack 9, a lot of hands like that. So I'm actually going to go pretty big here. Kind of time down a bit, make it look like maybe I'm gaining the courage to bluff. I'm going to go about 75% pot here. And we get a fold, so it's possible maybe he just has like sixes, maybe he turned an 8, something like that there too. But want to make sure and get the max there if he does have an ace. And a good result here. When guys limp the button, they often don't have much. Guys can complete here, probably doesn't have much. Ace 10 figures to be the best hand, so we raise it up. And, just win a couple big blinds there, which is a good result. Here, I think it's a decent spot to squeeze. I'm going to complete here, but I think it's fine to just call. Same reason as that ace deuce up there. As you saw, we still were able to win a good pot without bloating it. I think you can more just try and make some hands against some pretty weaker players. Here, I'm going to start with a pretty small bet. Half pot. We flop top 2, which is obviously really nice here. We get a quick fold. Man, the PLO broke, which is kind of a bummer. As I was hoping to get, maybe I'll check off screen here and see if we can get another small stakes PLO hand. You go ahead and almost pots it here. This player is, I have him noted as a fun player. I'm just going to call here. We got 2 players behind. Hope somebody does something crazy. And let him keep on firing. Here we face half pot. Now we have the absolute nuts. Really good spot to be in with him overcalling here. I think it's possible he has just a decent ace 10 or something too. I'm going to check and just continue to let this guy fire. And we peel one more and we turn the 7 here. We'll fold the most rivers here, especially that jack. Definitely a spot here where I think I can check. Again, I think he has a lot of aces. He's probably going to want to get value. So I actually think I am going to check. It's a disaster if it checks around, obviously, and we're going to 3-bet the 10s. And it checks around. So yeah, I'll be really, really not happy if somebody has an ace there. So that's a spot where I think we can win a lot of money if somebody has an ace. And don't expect that to get paid by any kind of bet anyway. I kind of like giving the fun player a chance to fire at it again. Maybe if he doesn't hit a 10 there, he goes ahead and fires. Interesting to note that he check calls the gut shot there. It's probably a good play because again, I think he's a pretty good player. So might have been a good play, might not. I'm not sure. But I like my call on the flop there, especially with the fun player in position. A lot of times those guys will just keep firing. Let's see if we can. Looks like there's nothing else really running. So we'll just sit here and hope that somebody else pops in. We've still got 5 other games running, so hopefully getting some good spots for you guys here. I'm going to fold the king 8 off. These are 2 of the better players in the game as well. And we're facing here a check and an early post. We're on queen 9 here. Queen 9 off. Not a great hand. But again, we're basically facing 3 random hands. We're in position. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. And I think we can just win without a contest a lot of times. And I'm going to start with a check here. I'm going to go ahead and tell a story that I have a big hand. He posted early. You can obviously have anything. Now we probably turn the best hand here. I think very often. And I'm going to go ahead and rep the king here. I also have a gut shot for other things. And obviously we're going to squeeze the pocket kings right here. Really good spot. Now we're going to go ahead. We were bluffing. Now we're going to bet for value. A little over half pot here. This will be the last street we get. He snap calls. And good result in table 5 as we take the pot with queen high. Not the result we're looking for, but fine as we squeeze the kings and everybody folds. Tempted to value bet here again. Don't like the 5. I think he has a lot of 6s here that just as quickly as he called, but I'm going to go ahead and check back. And he turned the queen, and we actually had the kicker. I never would have put him on that. The queen 3 off. But again, you can see why I fire on the button, and I'm definitely going to note that for this player too, that he defends queen 3 off for 5x. And then calls a gut shot and very quickly calls the turn. I think it's good to note those things that he posts early. Just kind of lets you know probably the kind of player he's going to be. Not going to want to show up with a lot of bluffs against this guy. After having seen that, I would definitely choose to value bet the queen 9 again, pretty small there, maybe like a 3rd pot. But again, don't know this guy at all, and so it's possible he has a 5, possibly he has just had a better queen there, possible who knows. So that's why I sized up on the turn to make sure I got that one good street with the queen where we thought we had the best hand, with the plan of kind of checking through the river. And you can see as I start to play poker here, I've played for about 19 years, 10 of which were professional. Don't play near the stakes that I used to anymore, but just as kind of a habit, I'm always thinking, and I think it's really good for players who are maybe low stakes and watching this game and maybe trying to get better. You want to be thinking about your next moves ahead, not just that I'm gonna, bet this turn because I turned a queen. Okay, what's my plan on the river if this range of cards comes? What's my plan here? And you kind of think about your sizes that way too, right? You've heard me already say a couple times here. I'm going to size up on the turn with the plan to check this down. I don't think I can get 2 streets, so I want to size up for that one. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and fold, actually. The suited king. And hey, we got a little PLO action up top. PLO is just fun to me because it seems like you can literally play every hand. That's probably why I'm not great at PLO, but I mean, it just seems like every hand you have something, man. We flop top pair. We got a flush draw here. Just seems like a fun game, man, to splash around a little bit. I don't see anything else to do but call here. And I was going to say, hope to hit a heart. Now we're just check fold as we have a pair of 5s on this board. I didn't know what he had. What did he have? Straight. Check back a straight. I'd like for a couple other players to sit. I really don't know what I'm doing heads up PLO. We'll obviously open the king jack suited here. We are, it's full ring, but we're 6-handed. And 5, 6, 7, 8 just seems like how can we not make a straight? So we're gonna pop this up. Like it's gotta be a high percentage chance. We're gonna need a 4, but we're gonna go ahead and then tell our story and fire out at least 1 bet. Here we get called 2 ways. Got backdoor diamonds and 2 overs. I think it's fine to start with a small bet. And here we flop the nut flush draw. And then obviously you're gonna pop up kings again against a nut cut off open. This is like the 5th or 6th time we've 3-bet this guy. We just happen to have pretty good hands every time. And folding here. He defends, it comes 10-10 deuce. Doyle would be happy. We're gonna go ahead and call with our nut flush draw and hope to improve. We do not. And here, I'm gonna go ahead and check back. I have this guy noted as a guy who doesn't fold. We've got a 10 to make a straight. Jack or a king could make us the best hand too. And here on a 10-10 deuce, I'm gonna start with a very small bet. Don't need to protect against a lot. I'm fine with him floating some like ace queens or, king queens or hands like that. And I'm going to go ahead and check now. And then I think we should be able to put like pocket 8s, pocket 9s if he checks back into a spot on the river. Fine with him making a blocker bet here too. Obviously we can be beat. I mean, he can have a lot of 10s, but still expect to have the best hand here a lot. Just going to go ahead and check call, which I think it's important to do against a really good player here. I want him to tell the story that I could have ace king here as well. I'd start with a small bet and check the same way. So I think against these players that are decent that play in the games a lot, it's more important to stay balanced. If this is just a fun player who's never folding, I'll just take a bet line. He'll tell me what he has. Here we got the 7, 9, queen 10, baby. We're going to defend. We're in position. Let's flop a big hand. Seems like we don't have, what do we have here? We don't have much. We got high card queen, but we got a dream. And on table 6, we're obviously popping up ace king suited. And the king jack suited here, we're gonna go ahead and 3-bet. That's a good player. And we're gonna start with a check here and turn a straight. No, we're not. This is a fun player who got it in earlier with a real bad hand. Can't remember the spot, but there's nothing to do here. If he has me beat, he has me beat. We're just gonna rip it with the ace king suited for 20 big blind or 50 big blinds. And if we die, we don't dodge a spade, so he wins the race, but pretty happy with the result there. And here we flop top pair and a gutter. We're going to start with a bet. We even wasted our second ace there, which is unfortunate. I did cash out yesterday. Everybody knows who plays online poker. When you cash out, you ain't winning races the next day. So that might be why we lost that race there. And here, I'm going to size up again. This very draw heavy board. I have the gut shot. I have top pair. I'm actually going to overbet a little bit here against a really good player. If he has, king 10, jack 10, some draws, things like that. I want to bet my draws a little big there too and put some heat on. And here we're going to fold the ace 9 suited to the under the gun open and a good player 3-bet. And again, kind of thinking through that spot there, I'm not going to bet most rivers unless I hit the gut shot. And so I want to size up there and then I'll open the jack 8 off on the button. Yeah, the spot down here with the ace king suited, ace king off would just be a same thing, kind of a slam dunk. Man, we have kings and tens up here. What a world. No suits though, unfortunately. And we've seen this guy get it in really light. I would suspect if he has like ace jack there. I can't remember the hand he got it in with. I want to say, I could look back. I want to say it was a weaker ace earlier before I started streaming. And we're gonna go ahead and value bet the turn to 9. Ten's not great. We're gonna go ahead and check. I think you can call there with a lot of gut shots like tens and things like that. And I think we're gonna go ahead and fold. Don't see him showing up a lot of bluffs. Here, I think nothing else to do but call. It is a short stack. We do have kings and tens. I think we're gonna flop a set. Let's see. We do not flop a set, and we're gonna go ahead and squeeze the ace queen here on the button. Start with the check. Expect he's just gonna shove everything. And we're gonna start with a raise. Same spot here, he limps to ace-8. That's a good turn. Now we have flushes beat us, obviously. Really good flop here. I guess we're just gonna lead and take it down. I'm gonna start with a check and actually go for a check raise here with a pair and a flush draw. Turned ace, I'm gonna go ahead and just bet once now. I expect to get folds by pretty much everything from an ace, except an ace here. And here he chooses to go over pot or right around pot, and we're just going to call with the ace. And we're just going to check here, as I feel like there's no real reason to bet. He does have a king, so we lose one bet there, no big deal. The plan was to check raise. We were flipping on the flop and put some heat on, but when it goes check, check, it's not a bad result. To lose one bet in a hand like that when he has top pair and we have big draw. We get squeezed with the 9-10 suited. We did get called here in this spot too. I'm actually going to go ahead and fold this spot here. Pretty tight, but again, if you've been watching a couple of the streams here, you kind of see, you know, like that ace jack hand, some other things where these people just, they're going to give it away in certain spots. And so I don't think you have to be, you know, putting a bunch of money in there with 9-10 suited, trying to hit a hand. You can just wait for better spots. This would be a really good spot if I knew this guy was capable of folding to bet like $6, $7 here. I have every ace king. He does not. I just don't know that this guy's capable of folding. There's a decent chance I'm drawn dead. I'm going to go ahead and check back. Here on the ace 4-3 flop, good player started with a check here as he opened. I'm actually going to go ahead and bet here with the gut shot. I can flat with all aces. If this guy doesn't happen to have an ace and he doesn't, we're going to win here a lot. We also have the gut shot, so 6 outs if somebody does have an ace. Let's start with the call here. Here, better flop for him. We need a jack. That's not a spade for the nuts. And I'm going to go ahead and check pocket fives here. This guy has 40 big blinds. It's possible now we can win against some kind of random spades, man, a queen jack of spades, but it's highly optimistic. I'm definitely not going to start bluffing. This hand looks good on table 2. We're going to pop it. So we're just going to check against this guy. Hopefully he just shows down like a miss spade or something. I don't know, man. We do win. That's crazy. And we're going to call a min bet here, 50 cents, and hit a jack. Nope. Opening the king jack here. And just going to pitch it here as we could be drawn dead if he has ace king. Ace again, he has all the big hands. We don't. I think it's definitely worth it once to call. I'm actually going to flat the ace jack suited here against this guy. I like to do this from time to time, is 3-bet him with a little worse hands and just call with a little better hands. Really nice flop here as we flop trips with kings on the ace board, and we got a player who's basically never going to fold. We'll start with half pot. Here we have a flush draw. We got an ace. We got a dream. We're going to bet. Really good flop here as we flop the nuts. I'm going to go ahead and call. This guy is a good player. We don't have the nuts anymore, but still highly likely to have the best hand. Here's where I'll be honest, I just don't know what to do in PLO. We got a flush draw, we got top pair. I don't know if it's better to put a bunch of heat on this guy. Not really sure. And I'm gonna bet a size here where I think like queen jack can call, things like that. And I'm gonna min bet here. And then we just get a snap fold, probably has nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and check back, see what happens here. Now we do have a flush, and obviously opening the ace 4 suited in the cutoff on table 1. He goes pot. Holy cow, man. Everything in me wants to fold here. We have a jack high flush on a paired board. What could he bluff, man? I don't know. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and pitch this one. Thinking PLO, you gotta be able to make some big folds. Jack high flush, paired board. I don't think we're good very often at these stakes, especially. And just gonna show down the 6 and we win. I wanted to see what we won versus this guy, and he limps ace king. We're gonna go ahead and pop that one up, obviously, about 5x. And on the pocket 5, so he had 6-3. So he just called with a pair of 3s on the flop. Obviously, really good result. And that's what kind of why I like that small bet with the 5s there, just to take control of the pot. When the good player here starts with a check, I think it's pretty likely he doesn't have an ace, because he knows this guy's, if he's calling with a 3, he's calling with all kinds of stuff. So when he doesn't, it's kind of nice there to take the lead with the 6 outs, even if they do have an ace. Checks the button, he bets half pot. We're just going to call with the ace down here on table 4, and nothing we can do here. He limps under the gun. I mean, there's just really no other play but fold. I guess there is, but I don't like it. And here we get an under the gun open, ace 3 of clubs. This is full ring. I think it's fine to call. I think it's fine to fold. I'm just going to go ahead and pitch this one. Now he goes a 4th pot, same thing, nothing to do but call. Hope to turn to river a 3. We don't. We're just going to go ahead and check, see what happens. And the queen 10 versus the limp, I'm okay to just complete. He go ahead and checks down, and so we win the pot. He has jack 8, so he decided to bet $1 2 times with second and third pair. Pretty fine with my play there, just to call with the weak ace. We get a 6x from a player here who is limping a lot. This is something you got to notice, man, in these games. Like, I just don't see him ever. Like, even if I have like 9s, 10s there, man, I'm not super thrilled about it. This guy limps constantly, and now all of a sudden he's 6xing. It's something to really note, be kind of careful of. Could just be his favorite hand too, man. You know, maybe he just has like, you know, my favorite hand's jack 8 suited. What's you guys' favorite hand? Like, I can never miss with jack 8 suited. I'm probably going to get to see him here, it looks like. And here on table 4, player limped, I had queen 10 off and just went ahead and popped it up 4x, and he folded. So there, just what I was saying, man. He has pocket aces. That's why I wouldn't have even felt good with like jacks there. You know, he 6x's after just limping a bunch. You can just make some crazy big folds in games like this. I think I broke down a hand in a previous video of my bankroll challenge, which I can link below, where I had ace king off against a fish and just lost a couple small bets, and he had aces. Spot similar to that, where he was limping all the time. Now all of a sudden he like 6x's, 5x's. Weak player limps with deuces here. I think it's fine to pop it up or just show it down. I'm gonna go ahead here and we flop the nuts, baby. Top set. We're gonna go ahead and start with a bet, obviously. And good turn here with the queen. I'm gonna go ahead and bet pretty big. A lot of draws out there. Pitching the deuces. The player that's limping all the time that just had the aces is now limping again. We're going to 5x. And pretty crazy spot here with the kings. As he go ahead and pops it, there's 2 flush draws on board. And pretty good flop here, backdoor flush draw and second pair. I'm going to start with a check. When he checks back, now I'm going to go ahead and bet for value. Here with the kings. We're going to go ahead and call the 1 bet, and all of our warning signals are up. What do we got here, baby? We got 2 pair, we got a flush draw, we got, or no, we don't have a flush draw. We got 2 pair, we got a straight draw, we got everything. We're going to pop it in. He has the nut flush draw, so no spade, and we win. I'm pretty sure we won. He didn't hit some kind of weird straight. We're going to go ahead and check the kings over. We don't want to see him like 24 it here, or 22 it here. He's repping a set, he's repping queen 9, 2 pair if he does that. We'll see what he does. Hot here, and we're just going to fold the ace 3. And he rips. Whew. Yeah, it's probably going to be a fold. Everything inside me is saying to fold. I don't see guys that often with bluffs here. It's a really good, like a great candidate to call, to be honest, without a club. He can turn like jack 10 of clubs. He can turn a lot of these hands. We have aces here. We're going to raise it up. But at this stakes, I don't think it matters a ton. And I just don't see guys taking this line very often, where they just massive raise on the turn and then rip on the river with missed stuff. They just tend to give up a lot when they don't have it. players call too much here. And he's betting 40 into 30. I'm actually just going to lay this down, live to fight another day, and I'm going to pop this one up with the king 9 410 double suited. Obviously, it's pretty exploitable here if I'm going to like fold hands like that. And I'll be really honest, if I'm playing 100 NL, 200 NL, I can't fold spots like that, or guys can just really take advantage of you. But I don't know this guy. Never seen him before. He's playing 50 NL, and I doubt he's really going to be taking advantage of me a lot. If he did, more power to him, man. We'll take a note of it and live to fight another day. I'm just going to bet less than third pot here and hope that he didn't flop anything. We didn't either. We have absolutely nothing. And that's just pretty easy fold. Deuces facing a 3-bet. We're in position. We're going to call and flop a deuce, baby. No, we're not. This is a trap hand, 2, 3, 4, 6. So my buddy Joey Ingram, shout out to Joey. He's probably the best buddies here in Vegas. He told me that these hands are garbage in PLO, so I am going to fold that, even though, man, it looks good. And we're going to squeeze the ace-queen off here and start with a check with the deuces. Snap checks back. I expect him to show up a lot here with like 10s, jacks, things like that. But man, I have him noted as a player who doesn't like to fold, so I'm not going to start to bluff him off those. I don't think we hardly ever win here. And yeah, there's kings. It's just going to be really, I'm going to have to really go ape crazy to get him to fold that, and not something I really want to do. Ace 9 suited, I'm going to go ahead and call with the fun player in the mix. We flop nothing. We got an under the gun open. We have queens. We're going to go ahead and 3-bet that one, obviously. And he pots into us. Nothing to do but fold with ace high, nothing, no backdoors, anything. So we 3-bet the queens. We get called. 4, 7, 6 flop. I don't 3-bet 7s and 6s here. I'm sure he could open them and call them. When he leads into us half pot, see players doing this a lot with like 9s, 10s, 8s, things like that. Nothing to do here, but just pop it up with the queens and protect our hand. If he flopped a set and he led half pot, more power to him. He's going to win some money. But more often than not here, I just see guys taking this line like they'll lead 9s here, and they're kind of in a rough spot. Pretty good result there as he leads half pot and folds. We don't even have to see a turn. A lot of bad turns on that spot. Probably going to play here a couple more minutes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, from the first video, I really appreciate the comments. So I tiled the tables this time, removed the chat. I hope made a couple other improvements that will make this video a lot more enjoyable than the last one. Something I'd like to do. And if you guys have any more tips, recommendations, I really appreciate it. I'm also in the midst of a bankroll challenge where I am going to, I've taken 3,000 and we're going up to 100,000. We're currently at about 9,100. I don't know how we're doing this session, to be honest. I think we're probably up slightly from playing off session in here. But somewhere around 9,100, 9,200, something like that. We're going to call half pot with second pair. And we're going to fold the 7s with the under the gun open and squeeze. And folding this turn. But yeah, check out those videos. I can link those below, the bankroll challenge. And I'm actually going to be flying out, or not flying out, but putting up 4 different people to play the Colossus World Series event this year, and then hang and play some cash games. I'm going to pay your buy-in into that Colossus. Play it with you. Hope to have some fun hanging out in Vegas. Get some lifts in, some hikes in, whatever you guys want to do too, man. I appreciate it. About to hit 100,000 followers on Twitter too, which is pretty exciting considering 3 years ago I had 0. So give me a follow over there too, man. It's Ty Romper, at Ty Romper. That's where I'm at mainly, putting out content there every single day. And I really appreciate you guys on YouTube too, man. This will be our last orbit. I'm going to sit out after this. But I really appreciate you guys. We got an under the gun limp from a guy with 40 big blinds. We're going to pop that up. And we're just going to fold the 8-9. Probably a call. We flop top pair here and some other stuff. We're going to check it back. And I would have maybe 3-bet that 8-10, but didn't see it. And start with a small c-bet here. Just calling with a gut shot, open it. We got a lot of stuff, and we got kings. Obviously popping that up. Checking the ace-jack. What do we hit here? Do we hit a straight? We just have top pair. We're going to check back. And he turned his set on us. Don't think we're good here much, but I definitely don't want to bluff against a guy like this. And that's fine as he limp calls 6-7. He wins 1 bet. No big deal. So we're going to go ahead and get out of some games. Jack will open. Anybody who's good at PLO too and wants to send me over anything I can use to get better. At this point in my career, I'll be honest, I don't really study much off the table. I used to take poker extremely serious. It was the most important thing in my life for a while. Now it's probably the 8th or 9th most important thing, but man, I still love the game, really enjoy playing, even smaller stakes. I mean, I would truthfully play for 1 cent, 2 cent if it was the only option. I just, after 19 years of playing, I still really love the game. It's super fun to me. And so when my kiddos are all napping like they are now, or I got a free 40 minutes or so, I like to fire up a session, or sometimes at night, most of the time when I play. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to go ahead and log off now and go have the greatest day of your life, man. Thanks.